Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. Hey, Angie.
Hey, Shelly.
It's just another manic menopause. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep. I thought you were going to say it's Monday. I was like, actually, it's Tuesday. Thanks for playing.
We're
recording this on a Tuesday, by the way.
It's all about some of the things that can happen during the menopause.
The menopause.
Yeah.
Is that like so rock?
It's definitely like something, that's for sure.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, it has its moments, and then it has its other moments.
It has a lot of moments.
Yeah.
So I am just recently started getting the actual hot flashes, which is ironic because this is the Hot Flash Chronicles. I'm Angie, by the way.
And I'm Shelly.
Yeah.
Maybe you manifested it.
Maybe I manifested it. But I have had so many hot flashes this last week that it's March and it's like in the 50s. And my husband was out of town last week. I had the AC on in our bedroom, window open, can't sleep with any covers. I'm just like, I feel sticky. I feel, the hot flashes are coming in full tilt boogie with me right now.
Yeah.
And I don't love it. I don't love it.
It's not the best I ever felt. I'm a little bit older than Angie, so I'm more on the saying goodbye to menopause. Toodles. See you later. Ciao. And I'm very happy about that. I was very lucky in the sense that I don't think I got it as bad as some people get it. Because everybody has like their own experience with that. And because it's a hormonal thing, we all process that differently. So I had about 4 or 5 really big hot flash moments. They were usually, I've said this before, at Fred Meyer, which is a Kroger store.
So random.
For some reason, I don't know if
your body's like, no, it's not today. You're
yeah, but I wait, and hot flashes can be different for different people. The big ones like that where I had felt like they were right in the center of my body. They just exploded out, like just it radiated out from there and would just cause me.
Is that what this feels like? So for me, it feels like almost like a fever breaking. Like all of a sudden, like I can't get cool, and like I don't want my skin to touch itself. Like imagine if you're laying out in the sun and you realize you've been out there for 15 minutes too long. And you get up and you're like, and you have a body of water and need something. You're just like, ugh, like sticky. And no, I don't want any, like very irritable.
That would happen to me sometimes when I was asleep. And I'd wake up like with the sheets up. And that was League of Roses.
It's so gross.
Feeling, I enjoy being a girl going through menopause. Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah, it's definitely, and what's so frustrating about it is you don't know when it's going to happen. You could just be like sitting here having a conversation like a normal person, just start sweating uncontrollably. And it's like super embarrassing. It's like, oh, sorry. I don't know if you can
like, I was making a salad the other night. So I'm not like over an oven or a stove or any heating apparatus. I'm like making a salad and all of a sudden it was like, oh, and I like throw my shirt off and Jeff's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm having a hot flash. It's not sexy. Don't look at me right now.
Don't look at me. Stay away.
It's not like newlyweds like cooking topless. No, it's just like, don't touch me. Don't come near me. I'm sweating. Ew. No, it was not chicken brown cow.
No, it was
not at all.
It was exactly the opposite of that. Yep. And that is a lot of what menopause feels. And I think that's why a lot of women, when we're going through this process, which you know what, it's part of our journey as women.
Why do we end up taking more journeys?
I don't like the extra journeys we get that other people don't have to have.
Have you seen the videos of? There's this company that makes like period cramp simulators, and they put them on guys, and it goes like 0 to 10, and 7 or 8 is what like a normal person's cramps feels like, and then like 9 and 10 is like if you have like endometriosis or something. Yeah. And they put them on these really tough guys, and it's like at a 3, and they're like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, dude, we haven't. That's like, and then they'll have like a chick standing next to him, and she's like still talking and eating at a 7, and he's like, he's screaming, and he's like, how do you work? It's like, we have to. And they're like, and how often do you feel like this?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's
funny to me watching the women wear it and they're just totally unfazed because we're used to it.
We've adjusted. Yeah, it does feel like we get a lot of trials. And I know there's people who say, well, it's because Eve and the apple. And if that's not why it is. But
I mean, I'm glad that it means that we get to have babies.
Sure.
I'm grateful for that. But so outside of hot flashes, I find myself to be irritable randomly, very emotional, like crying over silly things, not like sad crying, but like being moved by something on TV that shouldn't really be happening.
Commercial.
Like you guys came over to do sourdough the other day and you left and I was like crying, like I'm so happy you came over. I was like, oh God.
Oh dear.
Oh God. What's happening?
Make it stop. I have all the feels. And I do think that's one thing I had was all of my feels, no matter what feel it was, were heightened. Like I was sadder than I normally am or happier than I normally am. Everything just felt a little more enhanced, I think.
Yeah. And like, you know that I've been going through depression this year, which I've never had before. And my mom asked the other day, have you had your estrogen levels tested? And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever had my estrogen levels tested. Is that on a normal panel? Or do you have to still like, can you test my estrogen, please? Like,
unless you've gone to an endocrinologist for something else, I don't know that they test for it until you're like having issues with menopause. You get low estrogen. You get low E when you're in menopause.
Well, I had a hysterectomy 15 years ago, but I still have my ovaries. So they said you will still go through menopause. But, yeah, I was like, I don't know if I've ever, I'm sure they have, and I just don't remember.
They tested to kind of predict maybe where you're at in your menopause if you're just starting, you're certain way through. And then again, when you're done with it, there's another level. That thing that's bad about low E or not having the same amount of estrogen is sometimes you get dull hair, you get hair loss.
You get blue hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not naturally.
Oh, I was going to say, because I pay for it. Yeah.
Down the tubes, your ability to...
That just comes with age, though, hey?
Well, that's because your estrogen's going down. That's one of the estrogen and testosterone.
Because we have testosterone as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So those levels start getting messed with, and that just... I had, like, the memory loss stuff. I still do a little bit of that. Just not being able to recall things as quickly. And that's not great.
Sister Fish, try pairing that with ADHD. Good luck.
That's going to be...
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I think what we have to appreciate about... You got to find something to appreciate. About menopause is...
No more menstruation.
Yeah.
That's a great bonus.
And that's going to be a good bonus at the end. Yay! Team that.
Huzzah.
That's good. But I think it's also just part of our, like I said, our journey as women is we get to kind of navigate through that. And hopefully there's the light at the end of the tunnel and we're better for the journey. We're stronger. We're more capable.
Right.
We can't remember shit. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. Maybe that's part of my memory stuff, but I feel like I can't recall words all the time now.
Yeah.
But okay, so since you're coming to the tail end of menopause, what are some other things that I get to look forward to? What are other symptoms, outcomes? Good, bad, or ugly?
Found out that I had a lot of hip pain and pain. And I thought, oh, I'm just getting older. But apparently there's this thing called gluteal tendinopathy or something. And so it's around your hip, your butt area. And it is something that, again, is triggered by hormone levels. And I think it might be the low estrogen that affects that too. But I was having a lot of pain in my hips.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'm just getting old and this and that. But apparently that sometimes can be menopause related. So little aches and pains. And some people have problems with like migraines and things like that get triggered more. So I think if you just looked up anybody going through a big change, like a lot of times when we're teenagers, we start getting a change in our hormone levels, then there are things that happen then too. Like maybe you get stronger period cramps, or maybe there are other things that happen. Well, for sure, when you're a teenager, you start getting those doses of estrogen. You get horny. You start getting all those things when you're younger. So if you imagine the dial turned that way and then pulling it back,
right,
is kind of what happens in your 40s and 50s or whenever you start menopause. So there's a lot of it is just learning to get through these physical changes that are so out of our control. And if you're a person who likes to be in control, I think this makes it even
harder. Yeah.
Because you can't just take a pill and fix it.
Are there like home remedies that can help with things like hot flashes, asking for a friend?
Yeah. Well, answering
cold shower.
I remember because I didn't get the hot flashes a lot. I never had to do that. But I know if you Google, I'm a big fan of the Googling. If you Google that, there are tons of things that do come up for home remedies. And some people will swear by it, and some people will say it's all really. I think some things work for some people and some don't. I would say, though, a really good thing to do that I did that really kind of helped me with a lot of questions like this is I joined a Facebook group that was about going through menopause. Yeah. So
that's what I need, another Facebook group. I'm not in nearly enough.
Not either.
That was sarcasm.
But it doesn't have to be Facebook. Right. Social media. If you
right. No, I'm done.
I follow people like on TikTok and on Instagram who are going through menopause, and there's sometimes it's doctors and people who have actual medical advice, and then sometimes it's just everyday women relaying their experiences like we're doing here. But there is a lot of information out there, and if you are really suffering through it, if you're at the earlier onset of it, there is medical interventions and patches and things they can do to help with estrogen, but you have to do them at a certain point in the menopause, because there is a point where it's too late and like you can have increased cancer risks and stuff. So
right.
So it's something to definitely talk to your OBGYN or your family doctor about if you're really having crazy, out of control emotions, hot flashes, symptoms.
I just get really irritable, kind of like when you're PMSing, but like it's different because it doesn't feel like it's tethered to a time of the month per se. It's just like all of a sudden I'll be like, what does that person do? Like I get just like, don't talk to me. Like I get very snippy and I catch myself and it's like, oh, how do I self-correct? How do I like love them with kindness? Like, let's do some deep breaths. Let's think about some,
happy to
Jason Momoa a little bit. It wouldn't be an episode of Hot Flash Chronicles if I didn't talk about Jason Momoa. How you do?
Now we're an official. That's an official talk about Jason Momoa. And I think when women are going through this, that's the other thing is just that example you gave, just feeling like I don't have control over this. Don't even have control over my emotions. And it's like, do you want to do the medical interventions? Do you want to try to do this naturally? It's really something important because you guys, can go for up to 10 years. It's not.
Holy biscuits.
10
years?
It can.
Oh, no.
That is because it is a gradual thing that happens over time. And there's like pre-menopause, perimenopause, and then there's post-menopause. So you definitely.
What's the difference between pre and peri?
Okay. I think it's just people call it
different things.
You're just getting ready to set off. That's what it is, and that's the time when you'll want to be really monitoring if you know. I think I could be. A lot of times people miss their period or something, and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, I might be pregnant," and that's also a sign. Like in your early 40s or even your late 30s, some people start a little early. It's not that you're pregnant; it's that you're getting ready to start menopause.
Yeah.
So I'd say get kind of prepared for, get prepared for the worst and hope for the best.
Did you have any hair loss or anything? Like you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I have friends who have had hair loss through it. And I don't know that I've experienced that. Because if I'm going to lose hair, it's probably because I'm bleaching it and bluing it, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it can definitely cause some hair loss. And again, there are some things you can try to increase your collagen intake. There's vitamins and stuff you can try to do. But it's just, it's called the change for a reason. A lot of things change. The elasticity of your skin.
Right.
That your levels of collagen are affected by all of this. So that's maybe when you start aging a little more, getting more. We have a whole episode on that too, aging gracefully.
Do you know what I noticed the other day is like if my hand is in a fist, it's very smooth skin. But if I do this, I have the little wrinkles and I like them. They're like very soft.
Yeah.
My skin is very soft, how it's starting to do like the I'm aging wrinkles. They say that you can tell somebody's age by looking at their hands.
Yeah.
Do you see how I have like little tiny wrinkles? Like I like them. I think they're soft and fun. But I remember having relatives when I was a kid that had real soft, craggly, swingy skin, and they didn't like it, but I loved playing. But I was like, oh, I have the little old lady wrinkles. They're starting. They're just baby ones. They're just baby. It's just a little bit, but I like it. I'm like, oh, well, I'm getting the soft hands. Maybe my grandkids will be like, oh my, I love your hands. Like
they
that.
will. I need that. It's part of who we are as humans. We go through an aging process, and menopause for women is one of those things. And you can be sad about it and then think about what you're losing, or you can take it in the vein of this is where my life is going and it's going to be even better. I can learn a new stuff about myself.
My oldest grandson the other day, we were walking and I was holding his hand because like safety, because we're walking across the street. And he said, oh, Ma, I just love holding your hand. And I was like, oh, sweetie. Yeah, I love holding yours. And he goes, your hands just feel so warm. And I was like, it's not a sweet thing to say.
See, we gotta be grandmas.
Yeah.
I mean, and not everybody will get to be a grandma.
And that's fine.
And that's okay. Like I have plenty of friends who are extremely happy. But you get to, it's not that you're a grandma, it's that you look at children differently. The older you get, you appreciate their comments and their views on the world, and you have more patience than you did like when you were at parenting age. So there's been parts of being older where I just really like younger people. And I'm not talking younger like in their 30s.
I like them too.
I mean, I like anybody of any age if they're a full person. But I really...
Yeah, it's a person by person.
I appreciate the view of children and their view of the world, and that innocence and that hope and just sense of fun that they bring. And I was so busy in my 30s and 40s working and doing all my stuff that I don't know that I had time.
No, because you're just trying to juggle all the plates and figure out, like, is everybody still alive? Is everybody eating? Are all of the hierarchy of needs handled? Yep. And you don't think of yourself. You don't think of, like, I think I'm going to take a me day. You can't take a me day.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
And now I get to take me days. I mean, now that I'm older, my life schedule is much more, in control. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy and appreciate that. And there's just parts of not giving up what other people think. When I go to do
swear here,
I didn't give a fuck about what other people say or think about my plans, and I didn't feel that way when I was younger. I very much felt like I had to take opinions into account.
Less people pleasy.
Yeah, very much less people pleasy. So there are big rewards. The things that you're going to physically go through and emotionally go through. You come out of it on the other side, and I feel like you're a more complete person. You've had another one of those big life experiences that hopefully enriches your life. And I know that I think about things a lot differently and I make decisions a lot differently now because I know that the time that's in front of me now is a tiny bit shorter than the time that's behind me.
I mean, it's shorter than it was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I want to make it count. Yeah. And I think that when you go through menopause and you make it through, you're like, I'm a strong woman and I made it through not just emotionally hard things, but physically hard things. And now's my moment. Now's my time to have the life. And I want to have any of those really big, things coming in front of me anymore. It's like now I'm going to land where those things are. So I like it.
Well, now I get to look forward to AARP and like senior discounts. I'm getting there.
Ross on Tuesdays. Yeah, and Jiffy Lube, you get 10% off.
You have to be 55 for those?
55.
Okay.
I think Ross might be 50. I don't know. Check it out.
I do love Ross.
Go Google that. What discounts do I get at 50?
Look on the interwebs.
55. They'll give you tons. They're not very much, but they're enough to make you feel like, okay,
It'll cover the sales tax at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what stage you're in. Yes. So take advantage of all these things. If you're going to have hot flashes and sweat uncontrollably in public, then get your 10% off at Jiffy Lube.
So we said the good, the bad, and the ugly. That feels like a good. You get a discount.
You do.
Right?
I think so.
I feel like that's a gold star. Are there any other good things that happen during menopause?
I mean, it really depends on what you think as good. If you think building your character.
I'm asking like what Shelly feels, not what somebody else would feel. Did you feel like, hooray, I get fill in the blank now?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. I look back on it now that it's almost over and recognize that actually it's an emotionally rough time for women. I think you're saying goodbye to a certain part of your life. And even if, like, I had a tubal ligation after I had my son at age 31. So I knew I wasn't going to have any more children after the age of 31. But that's different than knowing that biologically you're done.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling and a different vibe.
But that was a choice you made.
I made a choice. But then when you're older, if you haven't like had your tubes tied, or if you haven't made a choice about that, then it isn't a choice anymore. Your body's going to tell you you're done doing that. And it's like saying goodbye to being fertile, like being a person who can produce life and do that, whether you wanted to or not. It's just something that comes in the DNA of being a woman. Biologically, we have this superpower of being able to create life.
It's part of our identity. As women is like
whether you have children or not.
Yeah, for sure.
You're just this is part of your femininity, your feminine power of who you are. And some people relish that and really revel in it. Some people give a shit about it. But it's like, I didn't think that I really did until I started going through that and going, well, that time of my life really is over.
Yeah.
Because even if I wanted to adopt kids or have more kids, which you totally can up until any age, it's that there's a reason why biologically your body says you probably shouldn't do this anymore. And it's like, if I had to have a newborn right now,
oh my God,
59, I mean, I watch my grandkids and I'm exhausted. Like, even in my 40s, mid 40s to later 40s, I just don't know that I would have had the energy to have a toddler or a newborn. So I always admire moms who are older and go, bless you. That is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot harder than when you're in your 20s and you have kids. So I think that there was part of saying goodbye to being a younger woman.
Well, like that chapter is closed. Like I have like a weird fixation on this is the last time something's going to happen for you in your life. Like, we get this one chance, theoretically, unless we have reincarnation. We don't know. You have this one chance at life. And when I realized, like, this might be the last time I ever stand in Iceland, right? Or something like that, where it's like, this is the last time. And knowing, like, when I signed up for the hysterectomy, it was like, I am making an absolute choice that no matter what, like, even with a tubal, like, you can get that reversed. Like, hysterectomy is not reversible. So it's like, this is like it is, that chapter is closed. And I am very big on, we don't hold all of our value as a woman in procreation. So I have lots of very good friends who don't have children, and any choice you make is just fine. You do you.
Choice for you.
Like, it's totally, there's no shame in that. And I've heard some of them say that they've been shamed for, like, what do you mean you don't want children? What do you mean you didn't have kids? Or what do you mean you had different priorities? It's like, fuck straight off.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to, like, don't dictate what somebody else's life choices are like that, down that path. And so I would imagine that for somebody who didn't want to have children, then that might be sort of like okay, we don't have to worry about preventing it anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that might be a whole nother.
I think that could totally be outside if you decided, if you made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like accepting, then you're saying goodbye to something, but also being excited about what the next hello is.
Mm-hmm.
And, every decade that I move forward, which is how I like to think of it, is new discoveries, new adventures, new things I learn about myself, new things I learn about other people, because I have time and energy to focus on me. And I think when we're younger, even if you haven't had kids or are raising a family, a lot of times you're in relationships, or you're in your career building that, or you're in a social life that maybe it's traumatic, or maybe you want to do a lot of stuff. And I think there's just a natural kind of pulling back and saying, I'm going to stop and smell the roses. And I'm
going to be present in the moment.
I'm going to be present in this moment. And not only am I going to smell the roses, I am going to plot the rose garden of my future. What roses I want to focus on. You know?
Can we have some coincidence chat?
Yes.
I feel a hot flash coming on. I feel it brewing. Oh, I just feel warm all of a sudden.
Manifested.
Did it get really warm in here all of a sudden? Like, seriously, I feel like, ugh.
Oh, you are?
I am warm. All of a sudden, just like, ugh.
Not caught. Flash Chronicles.
No, you guys are seeing it live in action.
Yeah.
In that, I think we should.
You might start.
I'm like, but I won't take my shirt off like I do when I'm cooking. But, yeah, sorry. That's on the Patreon. No, it's not. I'm kidding. It's not. That's a joke. You're like, I just looked to be like,
subscribe.
Shelly just looked to be like, we're doing what now? The look of horror.
Sorry. I don't know if that's in Van Roseberg.
Okay. So, with that, we would love to hear if you know of any hot flash cures, because I am
just having
balmy AF right now.
Just about your experiences or observations. If you're just getting ready to start, if you're midway through, if you're done, help other women out. Like, let them know about your experience.
Everything's fine.
It's everything.
Okay, rapid fire questions.
Okay.
How many? Oh, wait. How many tomatoes? This is the right amount of tomatoes in a side salad. Grape tomatoes.
7.
7's a great answer.
Yeah. It's like one.
I always lead with food, don't I? Interesting.
Who we are.
If you were going to travel somewhere right now, but you had to come back in 2 days, you could be teleported there and back.
Ooh.
No packing, no planning. Where would you go right now?
Italy.
Oh,
God. I yelled it again.
It's
I'm just Can I make it happen? And you'll see some podcasts.
That'll be fun.
All right. Okay. Angie's turn. I'm gonna open with food also.
Why wouldn't you?
If you could only eat one condiment for the rest of your life, just one.
Why you want to do this to me?
I know. What would it be?
Oh, shit. One condiment?
Yeah. Like we're talking ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard.
Oh, my God. Ketchup. Because I can't eat fries without it.
Okay.
I guess. Is sour cream a condiment?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Sour cream.
I know. That wasn't.
It's sour cream, I guess. Oh, dear.
Okay. If you we're going to a fancy soiree.
Oh, as I always do.
Would you be inclined to dress to the nines by wearing an all sleek leather outfit, or would you go something very feminine and lacy?
Lacy, in case I have a hot flash. Leather and hot flash does not sound fun.
It sounds like it might be hard to get out.
Well, peel it off like Ross and Friends. Like,
yes.
Just the baby powder. It turns into a paste.
So, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you like this episode, give us a 5-star rating.
Give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends about us, because you know what? Why not just do it? Sure. But this is the end of our episode, and we'll see you again soon. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube, and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
we're still hot, just in flashes.